How do we know that leftists don't actually care about children? My friends, we keep hearing this whole thing, oh, you're taking away parents from their children. ICE is coming to take away parents from their children. Or we hear Gaza, 30,000, 50,000 children, little children. You're bombing little babies. My friends, if you come to a leftist and you tell them, or Frank and I, for example, come to a leftist and tell them what we've seen at the border, right? We went to a place called Brownsville, Texas, and you see an abandoned Walmart being used as a center, a processing center for children that were brought in without their parents, who were brought in while they were drugged, right? Made to look like they were sleeping, right? And then basically sold or sent to God knows where, to some families, quote unquote sponsors, to become SLAVES, right? When you tell them about this, they can't even hear it. They dismiss it as a conspiracy theory, right? When you talk to the same people and you tell them, well, what about without going into the abortion discussion, right, guys, and without telling you what I think, which is very nuanced, right, and you tell them, well, what about the children that are aborted, all the millions of children that are aborted all over the world, in America and all over the world, they'll tell you that these are not children, these are not even humans, these are little, I don't know, petri dish beings, right? When you show them videos of, as they tried to do recently, about how all the children were slaughtered and massacred by Hamas, right? Not just adults, but children as well. When you show them that. Propaganda, they dismiss it as propaganda. My friends, these people don't actually care about children, right? They want to use the idea and concept of children as a means to an end for their political purposes. They don't care about children. They don't care about the lives of children. Children who were trafficked in. Children who, 300,000 or more children who were sold to or given to family, to whoever, not just families, but like God knows who, right? They don't care. They don't care. They don't care about quote-unquote Palestinian children or in Gaza who are taken since they are children, since the time that they are children, and turned into basically orcs. They've been turned from humans into orcs. How is that done? They put them into UNRWA schools where they teach them how to hate others and also how to, basically they're indoctrinated, to kill, to go out and to kill, to unalive people, right? They don't care about those children when those children are going through that process, right? They don't care, folks. They don't actually care about children. They don't care to have children. They don't care to raise children, and they don't care about anybody else's children. If they did, they'd be up in arms about all of this sex trafficking stuff. And God knows what else. They don't care, my friends. You know what they care about? They care about, vilifying Jews, vilifying Israel. They care about, what is it called? They care about the fact that they think that, a third of America, the landmass of America, is actually theirs, right? That's what they care about. Like, you talk to them today at these they're riots, really. Oh, California is really part of Mexico. This is our land. Folks, they're waving the Mexican flag, right? Meanwhile, they're living in America, and they're getting all the benefits of being in America, right? But they're waving the Mexican flag. That's what they care about, my friends. They care about insurrection. They care about destruction. They care about vilifying someone else. In terms of Gaza, they don't understand that it's Hamas that actually has destroyed these children and the future of these children. Any Arab will tell you that. Any Gazan will tell you that. And the ones who do openly, when Hamas finds out that who this person is, who said this in the open, they go and they kill this person, right? Or they torture them and then they kill them. My friends, they don't care about children. We know this. What about the children? They don't care about children. Like, I don't know how many times I need to say this. They're full of crap. My friends, they are full of crap. So, anytime you encounter one of these people and they tell you about this and that and the other, just understand, they don't care. Again, all these protests for, bodily autonomy. There's a body inside your body. Again, I'm not going to get into the discussion of abortion, which is, for me, actually quite nuanced, but just on a simple level, there's a body inside your body, right? And you claim to care about thousands of Gazan children who were bombed. Folks, did you know that those people that you care about are against abortion? Like that society, Palestinian society, Arab society, abortion is illegal. You're not even allowed to do it. Free Palestine, huh? That's a different discussion. You don't care about children. These people, folks, these people don't care about children. You know who cares about children? Folks like myself and Frank, who get in a car and drive from Florida to Brownsville, Texas, to look at what the hell is going on the border. And then we're shown an Excel spreadsheet of all the places that these kids are taken to. And then we see this abandoned Walmart, which, the government, you have Biden's goons standing in front at that time, not letting people in to see what's in there. It's a giant processing center for these kids that go to homes of perverts all over America. And God knows where else, my friends. Folks, they don't care about the children. They never did. You know what they do care about, actually? You know what they're worried about? Meaning, what concerns them? They need children to sacrifice. They care about the children in the sense of wanting to sacrifice them. Like to Moloch or something, right? That's how they care about the children. Meaning, Israel is bombing Gaza, and those children were used as human shields. Oh man, that's not supposed to happen. We're supposed to do that. Folks, they're just upset you beat them to the punch. Leftists are upset that Hamas beat them to the punch, and they're accusing Israel of doing it, of beating them to the punch. They wanted to be the ones to do it. You understand? They wanted to be the ones to sacrifice those children. How dare Israel, in the process of a military operation, cause this collateral damage of children. Folks, I'm telling you, this is exactly what this is. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing here with these riots in California. They don't care about the children's lives. They care that you are kicking out people along with those children who would be used as SEX-SLAVES. They actually are concerned that you are ruining their entire operation, their business. And they're using these goons as fodder. These guys that you see actually rioting, these are just like their foot soldiers. You guys ever see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? The Clan, the Foot, whatever. Shredder's the Foot. Young guys who are dressed like ninjas. Folks, this is who they are. And the people running this whole operation, they need to keep it going. That's why they had to neutralize Trump, or try to at least, because he was the only one that was working against this whole thing, against the human trafficking and child trafficking and all the rest of it. You know, if you guys again saw the movie Sound of Freedom, which took about 3 years to release, to be allowed to be released in America, and limited release in theaters, not in every theater, and it made all that money even with the limited release. Can you imagine how much money it would have made? It's not even about the money, but you understand what I mean, folks. This is about the children, but just so, again, they don't care about the children. Their goal, they want more children to die. Again, how do we know with Gaza? They know that those people, that their chief joy is martyrdom. So they're upset about people who, you know, or they're upset for people whose chief joy is martyrdom of their own children. And that's how we know they don't care about the children. That's how we know it's just a game to them. A tool, a propaganda point. Again, you show Greta Thunberg and company a video, it's just propaganda. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see what their friends did, you know, the sacrifice they did to Moloch. They're not going to watch their own thing. You're exposing them. They're not going to admit it. My friends, they don't care about the children. Don't let them guilt you, by the way. Because you care. They only say that to you because they know you care about children. They don't. They know you do. That's it. You understand now? If somebody guilts you about something, making you think that this is what they care about, they're only doing it because they know that that's what you care about, and that you'll, you know, somehow act in the way that they want you to act, based on what they just told you. That's it, folks. These people are full of shit. That's it. It's very simple.